I'm here with Merstham boss Frank Wilson and assistant manager Barry Hayles after quite frankly, a very disappointing performance and a disappointing result for the Moatsiders. Frank, we seem to be sort of off the ball, off the pace from minute 1 to minute 90. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, it is fair. It's not difficult to hide disappointment today. We've had a fairly lengthy discussion in there after that game. I think that there was a lot wrong with the performance today. I thought that we got it wrong in terms of the way that we started the game. Me in particular, I led what I thought would be the right game plan today. It didn't work, in terms of that front line. Playing the front three the way that we asked them to. It didn't work. But it wasn't just about why it didn't work in terms of individual performance or team performance. There was something about us today that hasn't been there all season. In terms of we just said it there, our sort of disconnection, lack of harmony, whatever you want to try and say about it.
We also seemed second best most of the game in terms of 50-50 balls. They won most things in the air, they won most of the tackles. We just seemed to be off pace generally.
They did, but I think that what I'm kind of alluding to and what I'm finding quite hard to sort of get out is that we looked disrupted today. We looked like some of the changes that we've made and things that we've looked to try and improve upon, if you like, with some players missing. We looked like that affected the team, and there was a real lack of togetherness today. And I think that what we're saying there about why we were second best or how they were able to capitalise on that, I think is because they smelt that. They smelt that within the first 5-10 minutes of our performance. You can probably link that to our lack of a focal point today at number 9, which, can't be too harsh in terms of the criticism of what we tried to do today in the absence of a Corey. But it really showed today how that didn't work. But we had a game on Tuesday night against Worthing, but the game plan for Worthing was slightly different to today. We weren't accepting today that we were going to really sit back and counter. We very much wanted to try and implement what we do and how we do it. But I just felt that there was a real disconnection today. Listen, there's a lot of things that I could say today and that we've already discussed and that we'll continue to discuss after today that might not exactly be relevant for this interview. But we certainly can't hide our disappointment.
And 2 goals from set pieces, 2 free headers, makes it all the more disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah. Because they were a lot sharper than we were, and they made a couple of chances early doors. But I still didn't think they were penetrating us. And then you give away a set piece, and then it's 50-50, and people don't mark, and then people are demonstrating afterwards, and it's just not good enough. And then to give away and not learning from the first goal to identically 6-yard block again, free header again, it's just something that we got to look at the personnel, look at who's in charge of attacking the ball and make sure we make the first contact. Because too many times from back to front, they made first contact, especially in the first half, and the second contact, and that's not good enough.
You know what? The audio of today was the most telling part. Forget looking at the video back and forget what it was that you were seeing in terms of what people were struggling to do, what we couldn't create. It was things that we either weren't saying or actually the things that we were saying to each other, which was very, very disheartening. That was what I found difficult today. I found it difficult being present at the game and looking at our team and what we've been quite good at this season, and why we've had a string of good results is not just our execution of what it is that we do, but also the problem-solving part of football, where you play a team, you start the first 15 minutes, you suss out what you think their strengths and weaknesses are, and then you're able to problem-solve that. But the actual audio of the game and how people were either saying things to each other or in a lot of cases what they weren't saying to each other, for me, was very, very telling of the mood of this team today.
Do you think we went in with that sort of classic? They're from a league
No.
below us.
No.
We should just turn up and win it.
No, I know that it may suggest that, or it may look that way, because so often that happens. Absolutely not. Not that would never be an excuse for us today. You know, there's nothing about our preparation that that was a lack of preparation.
And we made a point that this team reached the quarterfinals
Last 16, yeah.
last 16. So I made that point. That was my first point. So don't think this game's going to be a walkover. Don't think if we drop our standards and they raise theirs, then it won't be a level playing field. And quite frankly, they probably played very well, but we were first half. There weren't one person that I could pick out and said we had an half decent game. Everybody made wrong choices, didn't look sharp, didn't look fit enough, never shut them down with the tempo that we set out the team to do. So that was the frustrating thing.
Yeah, arguably the worst 45 minutes of the season, I would have said.
Yeah,
it was.
Sidelines.
100%.
Yeah, it was, and it's, again, I know I've explained it in a real long-winded way, but it's because it's not easy to describe. You know, there was so much about that first half that is so uncharacteristic of what we've been, and you know, we've just said it in there. We don't want that to become a real problem, because as angry as we are at ourselves today, all of us, and disappointed that we are for the football club and for everything, because we really wanted this to be a competition that we could excel in. And if we really need to sort of pull together now, because you know it wasn't impressive. It wasn't impressive in any way. You know, there's lots to say. There's lots to say about it. There's lots to say about it today, and there'll be lots said about it, you know, between now and next Saturday, because it's about us being able to get back to what's been working so far, and not even for the sake of this interview, but there's got to be 2 or 3 decisions made now based on what happened today. There's got to be 2 or 3 decisions.
We seem to be playing in the first half, probably less so in the second half, but certainly in the first half, in 3 distinct units: back 4, midfield, forwards, and there seemed to be very little connection between the 3 lines of the team.
You know what? Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, but we're playing some players in round holes and square pegs and that. So we got to just look at ourselves and think that shape didn't work with the personnel, and then we go again for next Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? But even analysing the performance before the goal, you know, I can hear, you know, there was lots of things. Our preparation wasn't good today. You know, we've got 2 players in the start. You know, we've got 1 player in the starting 11 today that is late for the game. We've got another player that's come with him that's not in the starting 11 that's late for the game. That then becomes a bit of a talking point that we have to address in front of everybody, doesn't it?
The warm-up started and 1 player wasn't out on time, which is another failure.
And then you know, it's no coincidence that is part of what didn't work today.
Yeah.
That he played and we played, and that was part of something that wasn't connecting today and didn't quite work. But I think that what we're most angry about is what we're alluding to there. We didn't show the maturity to even ignore certain things today. Do you know what I mean? Like certain things or certain players that weren't quite at it. Kind of bypass that with a bit of maturity and just try and do things a bit better. Work towards the team performance being a bit better. Everybody was so quick to be distracted by why they thought it wasn't working, and then let that be a reason why their performance wasn't good today. But like we said, we could go through the entire team. Even when we'd equalised at 2-1 and we're very much back in the game at that point, you know, we've brought Barry on, we've brought Serge on, we've brought Omar on. We've made it really obvious to the players that are on the pitch and to the subs that are coming on that we want to be very direct now, because everything that we were trying to do that wasn't direct wasn't working.
Just a lack of quality, I think, throughout the entire team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From front to back.
It was. But yeah, look.
But you have those performances during the course of the season, don't you? For no apparent reason, you can turn up, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you do. But I think that what we'd all agree that we're disappointed with is, you know, let that be an away night on a Tuesday night somewhere in the league.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not in the FA Trophy.
Yeah.
Not at home in the FA Trophy.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we can't get that back now.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't get that back. That's what hurts. You can't get that back.
But I suppose the only thing you can do is look at that and take that to Hornchurch on Saturday and improve the performance considerably and bounce back from that.
There'll most certainly have to be and will be a response. But I've just said it in there, and I made the point of saying it there to the players. You know, we're very animated. We're very animated. We're very emotional. Some of the things that we're saying in there as well are just wrong. You know, some of the conversations, some of the debate points, they're wrong. They're wrong. They're being said by the wrong people, and they're the wrong things being said. And we need to make sure that this week we get back the sort of general understanding and camaraderie that we have used as a bit of a platform, really, as to why we've been doing a little bit better. We can't let today be a distraction and carry any wounds from today into next Saturday. We've got to have a real good, astute week of training and focus.
Bad day at the office, but hopefully we'll bounce back at Hornchurch on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Cheers.
gentlemen.
Cheers.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.